folks, thanks for joining us today. Today we are making a beef short rib. We're actually going to smoke this beef short rib, but if you do not want to smoke the beef short rib in our Broaster Smokaroma, you can always cook it without wood chips. It'll act like do a braise on the meat, but the meat will not sit in water, so that will be the only difference, and the taste of the meat won't leak out. So we're going to do about a 2 hour and 15 minute smoke on this. As you will see, it is beef ribs, and then there's a raised platform. I think this is the brisket, part of the brisket that they cut with it. It's going to make a very tender meat. It's protected by the bone, and it's protected by a layer of fat. So we're not even going to cut this fat. It's pretty thin. We're just going to give it some seasoning, maybe like a dry rub, just to protect it a little bit even more. This is a cut of meat that you'll find very often, typically in like Brazilian steakhouses. We don't typically have beef ribs with this much meat on them, not standard American ribs. So, but this is a nice seasoning. Our Broaster Smokaroma is an amazing piece of equipment, necessary for any type of kitchen, not just barbecue shops, right? Great for standalone restaurant, QSRs, good for taco shops, sandwich shops to make meats for the sandwiches, tacos, meats for the tacos, and different dishes. It's great to pre-cook any type of chicken or any meats that you can pre-cook and easily heat up to serve on your menu. Just a great overall machine, great piece of invention. It does smoke for most barbecue shops. It smokes at 1/4 the time. So it will do chicken in 45 minutes, salmon in 30 minutes, ribs in about 50 minutes, pulled pork and brisket in about 3 hours. It's just a great piece of equipment. It also, unlike a traditional smoker where you lose a lot of moisture, it has about a 20 to 30% moisture retention than a traditional smoker. And it only uses about 4 ounces of wood chips, so you'll actually save a lot of money on wood as well. And it infuses the wood taste when it's rapidly cooking under pressure. And that wood taste is very, very similar to if you had smoked it for about 12 hours. The only difference is the meat that comes out of it won't be dry. It will be very moist throughout, and it will taste really, really good. So, all right, so we are going to run this through the Smokaroma, and we'll see how it turns out. Hey guys, as you can see, our prime rib is done. As you'll see that it's just very, very tender. The fat is actually almost caramelized and rendered perfectly. It's a great piece of machinery. So we're gonna cut into it, and you'll notice how tender it is, and all the moisture that's in it. Fat's completely and perfectly rendered. And it's got a lot of moisture in it. We let it rest for about an hour in tin foil, but it's perfect. Everything is nice and tender. The difference between this and using maybe a pressure cooker or a covered vessel is that this doesn't actually sit in any type of liquid, so that the flavor of the meat doesn't actually leach out into the liquid, and what you left with is just meat that tastes like your whatever seasoning you put on it. It's a little different. You can either smoke it or not put any wood in it and not smoke it out at all. This is smoked, so this does have an element of smokiness to it, which I think elevates whatever you're trying to cook. And it's just a very complex flavor that's added to it, and It only took about 2 hours and 15 minutes for this to get done, and it's like it's very, very juicy, very, very tender, cuts like butter. So great for any type of restaurant, great for any type of QSR, any type of where people come to eat. This machine, this piece of equipment is just perfect for anything you want to cook, whether or not it's meats for a taco, for an entree, or even for a Brazilian steakhouse, which is why we did this video. So nice, perfect, succulent, delicious, just perfect. And just think of all the other meats that you can do. You can do turkey, you can do pork butt, meats that are substantially cheaper than a prime rib, or maybe even this is a beef rib, maybe even cheaper, you know, cheaper than anything that's beef or even lamb or anything like that. You could probably even do a nice lamb shoulder on it, and it come out as juicy and as moist as this, like, you know, like it's a really expensive meat. So anything to cut that cost of goods sold down is a winner. All right, well, thanks for joining us, and have a great day.